Hey guys, Chicky Domain, aka DeBoo.com with the DeBoo.com forecast update. This forecast update effective around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, May 7th, 2014, and starts you off with some infrared satellite imagery of what has become 90E Investigate off the Mexican coast, currently located south of Manzanillo, Mexico. This area of low pressure is going to be moving towards the Mexican coast, towards the north and northeast over the next 24 to 48 hours or so. As we pointed out in our previous update, sometimes the remnants of these systems can work their way into the Bay of Campeche and develop another area of low pressure. Models have been hinting at that over the last 24 to 48 hours, have backed off or trended away from that a little bit in the overnight. We'll show you that in just a few moments. But as you can see, there's two areas of low pressure in this little counterclockwise spin, and this is forecast to consolidate into one area later today, and we could be looking at the first tropical depression of the 2014 East Pacific hurricane season. Also take note that down in here, just to the southeast of that, convection is firing up in here as well. This also could get drawn up if this system becomes a little bit better organized and get in here and move across Mexico into the Bay of Campeche. We're just going to have to watch that. We're going to switch to a real-time forecast here over the next 24 to 48 hours because there's another area that we're going to be watching north of Puerto Rico that is forecast to retrograde back towards the Florida coast, and we could see a surface low develop in the Bahamas around midweek of next week, about a week from today. We'll show you that in just a minute as well. Here's the water vapor imagery of 90E Invest, and as you can see, there's some tropical moisture in here, but there's some convection flaring up in here. And again, this all could move towards the Mexican coast and start to bleed into the Bay of Campeche. Looking at the latest rain forecast, or what the rain potential would be, this image is for Saturday, showing some heavier rains over Louisiana and towards the Florida border in here. And then the latest trend is to dry it out into Sunday. So it could just be a one-day event, or we could be looking at a larger rain event than what this particular model run is showing us. But I'll take you back to that. There's some moderate to heavy rains in there, possible thunderstorms, maybe some severe weather, and then on Sunday it dries it out. But looking at the area that we're going to be watching north of Puerto Rico in here, models are suggesting that a mid to upper level low is going to detach in here and then move off back towards the Florida coast, and a surface low could develop in here off the Bahamas. We'll show you that in the model forecast, switching you over to that now. This image is for Saturday. Southeasterly suck-up swell still happening in the Gulf of Mexico. Seas are not expected to rise above 8 feet at the moment, but again, we're going to be watching what happens down in the Bay of Campeche. If an area of low pressure does develop in here, this could help tighten up the pressure gradient and increasing the seas. Moving you out to Sunday, it's here, Sunday, we begin watching the area right around here toward Puerto Rico. This is going to help enhance some easterly, east-southeast trade wind flow, and we're going to see a bump in surf for the East Florida coast coming up next week as well, starting around the weekend as this pressure gradient begins to tighten. Move you into Monday, and as you can see, the area shaded is the low pressure now moving just north of Hispaniola and towards the Bahamas. Still southeasterly flow in here with some trades off the Florida coast. Moving you into Tuesday, you can see this gets near the Florida Straits and just north of Cuba. High pressure digging in here now, and a nice southeast fetch setting up out in the Atlantic, increasing surf conditions along the Florida, Georgia, South Carolina coast. When we get into Wednesday, it starts to deepen here, just over the Bahamas a little bit. Now, the GFS has been a little bit bullish, but we're also starting to see some confirmation with the other models now. The ECMWF, this image is for Tuesday or Wednesday, and look how it puts an area of low pressure just off the South Florida coast, and then on Thursday, it takes it up towards the Outer Banks, but moves it inland, and it bombifies it out just a little bit. down to 1,004 millibar area of low pressure. This was yesterday's afternoon run of the ECMWF. Last night's run backed away from that. So there's a couple things that we're going to be watching over the next couple of days, guys, but it looks like continued increasing surf, Gulf of Mexico, and some increasing southeast wind swell coming for East Florida, South Georgia, or Georgia and South Carolina coast. That's all we got for you for now, guys. Stay tuned for the next update.